Welcome back, everybody, to the West Coast. This is going to be probably a short little episode just for tonight, and I'll upload it as a bonus episode Sunday, and then we'll start out in earnest for Monday's episode, basically after I sleep. Or at least that's the plan right now, but plans can always change. I had a lot of really good comments and interactions from the last video. Sam Gunn pointed out that since I'm trying to play realistically, the UK actually still uses mile per hour because basically when they switched to the metric system, it would just cost too much to switch all the road signs, and everybody was familiar with miles per hour anyway, so they just kept the mile per hour. So I have changed our little speedometer indicator to mile per hour, and also I changed our money system to pounds instead of euros. That was a nice catch. It was something I didn't really even think about. But the mile per hour one, I had no idea that was the case. And like I always say, I do love to learn history. So if you know something that I don't or I get wrong, please point that out. And okay, let's get back here. We've had a few good suggestions for the name of Old Blue, and I think the best one is Billy. I do really like the name Billy. Oh boy. Can this not hook up to here? I was hoping it could. Maybe I'm a little bit too far back. There we go. Let's try that. We got it. Oh, wow. I was way too far forward. Okay. I thought that was the end of the header. I guess not. All right. We are going to hop in the combine here and finish up this field. There's just a little bit left from when we had my brother, also known as the hired worker, going a little bit crooked, and I really hate these ugly things here in the field, so we're just gonna go along the end rows and finish getting this because it is horribly ugly. I hate how the hired help leaves that. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so Platinum Turbo suggested, I think he may have the winning name of Old Blue with Billy. I think it's very fitting, and you know, I'm still open to other ideas, but right now that is the leading suggestion, and I think we will probably go with Billy unless someone else comes up with a better name. I just also wanted to point out the Marston trailer pack. I did put it in comments, but I found out afterwards it had nothing to do with the more realistic mod or the center mass. It was actually basically I messed up in my conversion databank folder. I had the wrong folder in my mod map because I have a couple of them for different maps that I play. You know, one for the Growly map, the online server there, and then one for, you know, this map and the Labatu Monday map. So I basically had the wrong one in there, and the Martian pack was not there. So it was a unrealistic trailer with the more realistic tractor. And that's what caused all the squirrely action you saw there. I actually went through, if you are a fan of the more realistic mod and use it, I went through and edited the entire Marston pack, and so now it should be totally realistic. I changed a few things. The other mod was good. It was fine. I'm not trying to, I forget, I think it was Doc who made that mod. I should really have that when I'm talking about it, but anyway, he said himself that it was just a simple conversion. He didn't go into a lot of detail, and that's fine because it gets the mod out there and, you know, working for a lot of people, but I wanted to make it a little bit more realistic. So after a lot of research, I found out that I actually couldn't find a website for the Marston trailer. So instead, I measured the actual volume of the trailer inside Giants Editor, and I based the capacity of that trailer from what it is scaled to in real game. And I think it came out to 13,700 liters is the more realistic volume for that trailer. So that changed. I also adjusted the springs, the damper, and I changed the center of mass. There's, for those that don't, you can watch I'll put a link to the tutorial on converting for the more realistic mod if you want to know more. But basically there is a section where you can actually add a value to change the center of mass to make it higher as the mod, or as the trailer rather, fills up with grain, and that's what I added, because if you ever drive a trailer or anything heavy in real life, whether it has grain or, it's a semi hauling goods, when it's full, well, a semi, I guess the center of gravity won't change as much, but when you have grain in a trailer, it changes the center mass, and it actually changes it to relatively high there, and it's kind of scary going around corners. You have to take your time slowing down, and I feel like that alone makes the mod incredibly realistic, and I felt like I had to have that, so I added that in there as well. So when the trailer's full, granted, you can kind of see it there off to the right. It is a bit of a smaller trailer. It's lower to the ground. It doesn't have terribly high sides anyway, so I don't think it would have been a problem, but still, you have to be careful. You have to slow down and take things nice and easy with trailers when they're full in real life. So that's what I added. I wanted to make that, I wanted to make it feel real. And, okay, so we are on our way back. I've given my brother the rest of the night off, so this will just be us. I'm really considering, I know I probably should save my money, because otherwise I'm going to go horribly into debt like I did in the Bounty Monday. But I really am thinking about buying that other canola field that still has canola in it that we saw on the way to deliver the grain last night, because I don't know. I love harvesting. It's my favorite time of year, and it's probably a bad idea. I really should save the rest of my money for cows, but hey, that's what a loan's for, right? You can always just go in more debt. Well, not always. There is a limit, but with seasons, it's proportional based on how much equity you have built up, and we've got a decent amount of equity, so I would imagine our loan would be pretty big, and I think that we will probably do that. So I'm basically brought down Landy to grab the trailer and move it down there to the other field and buy that field before the other farmer harvests it. In case you're wondering, it is possibly realistic to do that. If the farmer owned that field, they probably would not want to sell it right before harvest unless there were some other circumstances that we didn't know about. But here, let me get rid of that. We'll put out our auger. But if it was a landlord that farmed or that owned the land and just a farmer, the farmer doesn't have any control over whether or not the landlord sells. And typically all that happens in that scenario is whoever buys the field pays the farmer for the input cost to that field. There are actually a couple different ways. Over here, you see it about, I don't know, is it 50-50? Anyway, let me explain what's broken up 50-50. So there's two ways to be a landlord. One way is just a cash rent, and cash rent prices are, what are they? I'm actually not too familiar with that. I think around maybe 200 an acre, 150 an acre. I think about 150 an acre, maybe 200 if crop prices were a little bit higher. But so you can either cash rent and then the farmer pays for everything else, right? It's just a straight up cash rent, just like you're leasing a house, and the farmer gets to use the land. The alternative way that, so half the landowners and farmers probably do that. I would say the other half do, I'm not sure really what it's called, but they split everything down the middle 50-50, where the farmer farms the land and the owner owns the land, right? So that's kind of fair. But then the farmer uses his equipment to farm the land, and they split the input costs, so that's the seed, fertilizer, etc., and then they split the profits right down the middle 50-50. And that is the two ways that it is done in the U.S. that I know of. So obviously, if you have a landowner, the farmer doesn't necessarily get any input on when the farmers or when the landowner is going to sell the land. Typically, you don't sell it right before harvest, but it has happened. And so all that would happen is we would pay the landowner for or whoever put the input costs into the land, we would pay that person. So if that's 50-50, we divide up those input costs between the landowner and the farmer. Okay. Whoops. Of course, this vehicle is already on. Let's hop in here. And I did have, I forget who, I think it was, actually, I'm always hesitant to say his name because I don't know how to pronounce it. Madalisher, I think? He is great at making suggestions, and one of them is I don't use the IC controls enough. So we're going to try to use the IC controls, and if Landy can even pull this header trailer, it is a fairly heavy thing. I'm not sure if we really... Okay, I think we got it. We're just going to have to go a little bit slow. Oh yeah, Sam Gunn also pointed out that, oh boy, maybe we should have moved some things. No, I think we can get this turn. Nope, we can't get this turn. Okay, how about we move some of these things so we can get out of here a little bit better. Anyway, Sam Gunn has also pointed out that I was using the hazards and the... right there, the beacons when on the highway. But he was actually saying that typically you only use the beacons. You don't use hazards when you're driving on the roadway. Unless it's like a oversized load or something like that. If you're just driving on the road, you don't need to use beacons, or you don't need to use hazards. And by hazards, I mean your flashing lights like that. So you just can use the beacons. And what should we do? How about we pull out over here? One other thing I wanted to ask. Now, see, this would be a perfect example to use those hazards, I think, because, oh, that's actually the wrong side of the road. Silly American. Okay, let's just pull in right there. And, well, you know what? Okay, I was going to drive down with Landy. Oh, well, you know what? This would also help. I was going to drive down with Landy to the canola field. But actually, let's just drive down with Fritz here. We'll hop back inside the cab. Let's just drive down with Fritz, and, you know, since he's already on the road, yeah, instead of pulling over on the side of the road, that's kind of dumb. Was that canola field already harvested? I think it might have actually already been harvested. Or it's further up here. You know, I could just look on the mini-map, but that's not as much fun, right? This trailer, you know, it's not full, but I can already tell it is acting so much better than it was. All right. It might be up here. Where is it? This is a fun little adventure. Oh, what is that road? Is that another forest? What is that? What? Is that the entrance? Oh. That's the entrance to this field, I think, isn't it? Let's make sure there's nobody behind us. Okay. I think this is the entrance to the field. This is cool. I missed this. I had no idea this was here. This is a fun little... Oh, this is awesome. All right, we got a little bit of room to here away from the road, so we don't have to just park on the side of the road while we get things set up. All right, we got 2 fields, just 1. 2 fields. 1 field. Let me make sure. Now we'll cheat and use the mini-map. We will make sure that... Okay, yeah, so that is the canola field. Oh, wait, what's that one? No, that's canola. Is that barley? Oh, there's 2 down here that aren't harvested. I thought there was only 1. Okay, well, should we buy 49.2 and just make a little circle around the outside of the map? I don't know. Let's at least buy this one. I don't think this one's just a little bit too far away from home. The original goal was to not do this. The original goal was to buy all these fields first since it's so close to the farm. Oh, this was not what we were supposed to be doing. You know, we're trying to be an organic farm and not spread any artificial fertilizer on the field. And so that means staying close up here so that way the slurry tank has, you know, less distance to travel when filling up and going back to the field, which is why I wanted to buy these, but it's too hard to pass up this field. I think we're just going to buy it, and I do think we'll let that canola field go. We need to try to stay as honest as possible and save our money for cows. I really want to try to avoid getting in debt, which is not going to be easy. One final thing before I leave this field. I did want to point out that I changed a few of my settings to make it a little bit better for the night, because why am I pulling in here? I just need to turn around, but there's not really a good way to. Okay, let's try to do this. I did change a few settings for those that aren't familiar. I'm not actually sure how it works, but basically the NVIDIA control panel has something called gamma and color saturation and things like that. And if you're using shadow play, it basically looks exactly how it looks like on your monitor for some reason. But if you're using another recording program like OBS, which I am, the night that is recorded looks so much darker than it does in the game. And that is why my very first episode on this map, if you remember, it looked really, really dark on that episode. And that's why. It doesn't actually look that dark when I was playing on my monitor. But, of course, I did not know that until I went to view the recorded footage. So we're going to just record this episode. It's going to be really short. It's a Sunday bonus episode anyway. I'm not trying to tease people, but I thought it would be a great way to test the night recording footage and see if it's better. And then if it is, maybe we'll be able to work a little bit late into the night sometimes. For those new to the series, I typically try to sleep at night because, you know, like with everything, I try to play as realistic as possible, and that includes running to my vehicles and, you know, simulating that I am sleeping. And yes, maybe I should turn on a flashlight so they can see me. This is another question I had. When you are walking next to a road in the U.S., I would assume this would be universal. You always walk on the side of oncoming traffic so you can see it coming, instead of, you know, like on this side, it would sneak up behind you. But, okay, let's keep on running back to the, let's see, which one are we going to bring? Yeah, we'll bring the header trailer next. That is the smart move. And then I think that we will just leave everything down there. We'll finish baling this field. And, yeah, we'll take the header trailer first. So, yeah, let me move the combine out of the way just a little bit. We'll take the header trailer down there, and then we will finish up baling this field with Von Frederick, and we will probably be done for the night. We'll probably take Landy back home at that point. All right, here we go. All right, we will turn Bessie off again. We'll leave the lights on. It's not that much of a time that we'll be gone. Okay, here we go, Landy. Let's get accelerating. Whoops, I accidentally was in backwards. Okay, we got this. So now, I think that this would be one of those times when we would probably use the hazards, right? I am not sure. I think I'm going to use hazards just because I'm going to be driving a little bit slow and a little bit unfamiliar, but like Sam Gunn said, you know, as long as you're not in the other lane, like, you know, as long as you're not double wide or something, taking up both lanes, you shouldn't necessarily have to use. And why are my headlights not on? I have them on. That is weird. My button for my headlights is not working with this vehicle. Okay, I guess we can't drive Landy at night. Look at it. I mean, you can hear it clicking. There we go. Turn on, turn off. Turn on, turn off. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused about that. This is a nice little area. Did I drive by the field? No, it was right after this, right? Yeah, I think it was right after. Oh, yeah, there you go. You can see my headlights from Fritz, which I forgot to turn off. I thought I did. So that we'll actually have to do before we... There we go. Before we forget about that. And if I remember correctly, the combine attaches to the left side of this trailer. Yes, that is correct. You can see it there. Well, not behind us. There we go. Now you'll be able to see it. Yep. Always the left side. And we'll turn off our hazards. Where are we going to do this? I think, actually, if we... Okay, here we go. We get to show off my backing skills, I hope. We'll pull in here. And it's going to be kind of tight for making that. I don't know about this. There's not really enough room to get straight. I was going to try to back it up there nicely, but I don't think there's really not enough room to be able to do that. So instead, what should we do? I guess maybe if we go straight and just take a wide turn, I think that's what we'll have to do. Yeah, we'll try to take as wide a turn as possible going up that hill. Oops, didn't mean to back it into the field. Yeah, show off my backing skills. Yeah, right. I did grow up on a farm in real life, believe it or not. I feel like I have to keep repeating that I've never hit anything in real life, guys, honest. And I feel like nobody believes me. Okay, I think if we leave it there, the combine will probably be able to get enough room to back in, maybe? Okay, maybe if we, let's try this real quick. Let's see if we can get us any closer without hitting the gate. And we're not really making any extra room. It's just a little bit too slow to turn the tires there. Oh well. Okay, I think if I leave it there, well, no. Let's okay, one more try. We'll straighten it up here. Okay. And I think I just made it worse because I cannot get over there in time. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a little worse. I couldn't cut that in time. Okay, we're just gonna back up and try one more time. Oh my goodness, I should really edit this out. This is embarrassing. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go into here and then go as close to the fence as possible, and we'll just leave it like this. I think that is, oops, must have gotten a little bit too close to the tree there. I think we'll just leave it like, you know, it would help if I had headlights. What did I hit that time? I didn't think oh, maybe I was just hitting the very edge of the fence there. I couldn't even see it in the bush. And that's why you have headlights on. My goodness. Okay. That is just going to have to do. I think that should work if we, oh, well, not right there. We need to back up a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a smidgen. I think if I get about there, that will be enough to get the combine in, and then if I actually disconnect Landy and drive him forward a little bit, that should be enough room to get the combine back through here without, yeah. It's a big gate. I think that should work. All right, let's do it. Whether or not it works, that's what, well, I mean, we're only going to do it if it works, but that is what we're going to try. All right, let's get out of here since Landy doesn't have headlights, apparently. I don't know why it's not working. I did disable my F button, and so the, what is it? There's hotkeys to turn on your front headlights and then your high beams, and it works fine for tractors. See here? There's my front lights, and that's the same one that, you know, those are your actual lights, right? Because it has your tail lights on right there. The high beam hotkey only turns on your high beams. It doesn't actually turn on your road lights. So like those are your field lights, they call them. And these are your headlights. And so that's the same button I'm pressing over here. But it's just not working. See? Oh. Oh. It is working. The headlights just don't, it looks like they don't emit a Corona or something, whatever that's called. I'm not that great of a modeler. But it looks like the headlights just aren't really, I mean, they're working as designed, but it's because it's not designed properly is the problem. Okay. Well, at least we figured that out, and I'm not just going crazy. We're gonna, let's see. I don't want to drive past the field, but it's getting pretty hard to see things here. Fortunately, we left the lights on for Bessie, and we can actually see her in the field. So that is fortunate. Okay, here we go. I think, you know, that's a little bit dangerous. Maybe we should we just leave Landy here and drive? I think we'll leave Landy here. We'll probably drive Frederick home because it's getting kind of hard to see things. And you know what? For that measure, we will leave Bessie here. So let's turn off the Bessie lights. Oh, no. Same problem. Now I have the same problem there. See? Okay, I think I'm just going to need to bind my hotkey because none of my hotkey... Anyway, you know what? We can figure that out later. We did forget to turn off the lights for Landy, though. There we go. See, and now it works. I don't understand that. Anyway. I don't know. I don't know these things. Okay, look at this. I remembered. And you know what? How about this? Let's enjoy the crisp night air. How about that? Is that a sunroof? Do we got a sunroof? Oh, yeah. There we go. Let's enjoy the sunroof. There we go. And what's this one? Oh, that. We don't want that. Yep, I think that's all the IC that we want. Ooh, the cycles between menus. That's cool. All right, let's get going with our work lights on. All right, Frederick. Let's get going. Well, actually, you know what? I should leave Frederick here. I don't know what I was thinking because we still need the baler to make some more straw for the barley. So I think that we will end up taking Landy home and we'll just drive slow and carefully. And we'll pretend that the headlights work because I think that they are supposed to work. I don't think it was a matter of a button. It looks like they didn't have the, what is that, the Corona or something shader. I don't know what makes lights work in this game. But it's lacking something. I think we can say that's safely established. I did also want to point out that Platinum Turbo actually said that buying cows at, when is it, the summer? I forget what season it is, but I believe it's the summer. They're at the rock bottom cheapest, and they are almost as cheap in the winter. The early winter, late winter, they're expensive, or vice versa. No, early winter, they're expensive. Late fall, they're expensive. Later in the winter, they are almost as cheap as in summer. And there is actually a couple graphs. You know, I don't know if this is what caused Platinum Turbo to think of this, because I didn't even know this, but on FSUK, a different user pointed out that, you know, he actually made a graph for the prices of animals, the multiplier that Seasons uses based on the season. And then he also followed that up with a post with a graph doing the same thing for crop prices, the multiplier for crop prices throughout the year, which I didn't even know Seasons did that. How awesome is that? Which, that's pretty awesome. I'm so happy Seasons does that because, you know, typically prices fall during harvest time because there's an abundance of the crop, and so the prices are typically a little bit cheaper. But now we can actually store them and sell them for higher throughout the year. And I'm not talking about the great demand. I'm just talking about the base crop multiplier. It actually changes during different seasons. So I'd like to thank Platinum Turbo for pointing that out because I actually did not know there was a difference there between the different times of year. That saved us a whole bunch of money because I was planning just to buy cows basically now, as soon as I have some straw and grass available. So instead, I will use that chart and be sure to plan out when I buy the livestock carefully. I don't think I'll wait all the way until summer to buy all my livestock. I think I'll buy most of it when it's basically when it's cheaper. It's below the multiple. I think it's maybe like 0.9 or something, or in the high 8s. That's still a pretty good multiple as opposed to, you know, 1.2 or something. So I think I think that's right. I think like in the, I don't know, I should just pull up the graph. I think it's 0.9 in the winter at some point, and in the summer when it's at the lowest, it's somewhere around 0.8. I think that's the lowest it goes, but don't quote me on that. Should we drive Frederick down there tonight? I don't think so. Well, maybe we should. Maybe. I don't know. I wonder how many actually bales we produced this field. Not very many. Let's see if we can just take a look here. Oh, it's a little bit too dark there. Anyway, I think that will just about do it for the Sunday episode. So be sure to let me know if this is, well, I mean, I guess I'll know when editing, but I will get to working on making it a little bit better during night. So that way you can properly see the same thing that I am seeing when I am playing. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick little episode. I just can't get enough of this map. I can't wait until all of you guys have the map and play it, and I really want to see all your feedback on this map because it is awesome. So until next time, guys, thank you, and I hope that you enjoyed, even though it was a short little episode. We will resume the normal episodes on Monday. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.